We begin this half hour with lawmakers in Washington getting ready to decide a landmark piece of LGBTQ legislation that would crush religious liberty. The House vote is expected tomorrow on what's known as the Equality Act, but there's also an alternative approach that would protect religious freedom. Senior National Affairs correspondent Heather Sells has more on that. Heather.
Yeah, Ephraim, the alternative is called Fairness for All. It's sponsored by Chris Stewart. He's a Republican congressman from Utah. And this approach would provide civil liberties for LGBTQ individuals, and it would also provide for people of faith.
I don't think it's going to pass through the Senate, and that opens up the opportunity for Fairness for All. We have bipartisan support for this. It's not just a Republican idea. It's not just a conservative idea. There are some of our Democratic colleagues who are going to join us on that. And once they see that they're not going to be able to force this upon the Senate, then that opens the door to look at an alternative.
The House is expected to pass the Equality Act as it did in 2019. The real battle will likely come in the Senate, Ephraim. And I want to note, it should be noted, too, that the Equality Act is not bipartisan. It has no Republican co-sponsors, and conservatives say that underscores just how radical this bill is. Ephraim.
Heather, question for you. How much support does the Fairness for All Act have right now?
Right. It's a really interesting political situation. Representative Stewart described it as really a sensitive, fragile and coalition. And part of the issue, Ephraim, is that conservatives like the Heritage Foundation, the Family Research Council, they are backing off from Fairness for All. They considered it just a watered down approach from Equality for All. So some conservatives are, for the Equality Act. So some conservatives are opposing both the Equality Act and Fairness for All.
So looking to the Equality Act, how much support does it have?
Right. Okay. What's interesting here is that it is purely a Democratic bill in the House. And now on the Senate side, you are seeing moderate Republicans like Susan Collins, like Mitt Romney. They are backing off, citing religious liberty issues. At least Mitt Romney is. So that is a concern. But also, sources are telling me that there is growing GOP support for LGBTQ civil rights protection. So you see a lot of different dynamics coming together here. And indeed, I think the fight really will be in the Senate over this bill.
We'll be watching that for sure. We're also hearing that the Equality Act has an abortion mandate.
Yeah, this is the plot twist. Just found out today, started hearing from pro-life groups concerned about this bill. And I was thinking, well, that doesn't make any sense. But actually, this bill, the Equality Act, would require that any health care provider or hospital that receives federal funds to stop what it calls pregnancy discrimination. And it eliminates religious protections for healthcare professionals that disagree. So again, there's an abortion component to this bill that has conservatives concerned. And we also know that Planned Parenthood in recent years has really come alongside the transgender movement and has started advertising and offering hormone treatments out of their clinics. So there's really an enmeshment between the abortion industry and the transgender movement here.
Real quick, Heather, what do you think will happen in the Senate?
There's two possibilities, really. The senators could give this a full look and really debate it and try and vote on it, or they may just introduce it and use it as a wedge issue in the upcoming election, Ephraim.
All right, we'll be watching. Thank you so much for your reporting, Heather.